The very next day, Thursday, the 20th of May, the Attorney General welcomed the First Lady of Lagos and other key stakeholders in the state to the launch of the state's gender-based violence event, Virtual Referral and Response Service.
Members of the State Executive Council,
in partnership with the European Union-funded Spotlight Initiative, Women's Helping Hands Initiative, and with technical support from the United Nations Population Fund, the UNFPA, the Lagos State Domestic and Sexual Violence Response Team officially launched its 24/7 toll-free helpline to rapidly respond to survivors of sexual and gender-based violence.
The fifth Sustainable Development Goal of achieving gender equality and women's empowerment is a standalone goal under the Sustainable Development Goals, but it is also an intrinsic part of all the other Sustainable Development Goals. If we do not deliver on SDG 5, we will not be able to deliver the Sustainable Development Goals. Providing access to gender-based violence services enables us to fulfill the SDG principle of leaving no one behind, which the United Nations is very committed to.
Leaving no one behind is indeed key, and one after the other, key stakeholders speak to the rationale behind this launch.
During the COVID-19 pandemic, the Lagos State Domestic and Sexual Violence Response Team, DSVLT, reported an increase of 35% of domestic and sexual violence cases via our hotline and social media handles. The barriers to services amidst the documented rise in the sexual and gender-based violence incidents during the COVID-19 pandemic necessitated the quick adaptation of sexual and gender-based violence case management service delivery models by exploring innovations to reach people with services during the pandemic and even beyond. This birthed the Lagos State Gender-Based Violence Virtual Referral and Response Service in 2020.
The AG speaks to the figures and reports received by the state's Domestic and Sexual Violence Response Team. He assures Lagosians that the government will always protect its most vulnerable, even as it reaffirms the government's stance on zero tolerance for gender-based violence.
Since the introduction of the state's toll-free line in July 2020 till date, the team has recorded steady increase in reporting. Over 2,450 cases have been handled during this period, and the highest reporting of cases emanated from Alimosho, Ikorodu, Ifako, Ijaye, and Koshofe local governments. Whilst we are encouraged by the increase in reporting, we however know that we have not yet scratched the surface. By virtue of the GBV VRRS, which we are formally launching today, callers will be able to access the following services: clinical management of rape, psychosocial support, security and access to justice. These services will be delivered at no cost to the clients, whilst maintaining the principles of survivor-centered approach, safety and confidentiality.
And that's our program this week. Don't forget that you can find these and past episodes of the program on our YouTube page. I'm Shola Shieli. Thank you for watching and see you next week.